Hey, everybody, Scott Carson here. Hope you're doing well. I'm actually, it is Sunday night, roughly about 9 o'clock. I'm actually here in Orlando still, decided to stay an extra night. And I decided I would do my best moments, top takeaways from Podfest 2020 in a pod. Doing a pod in a pod. So I'm here at Icon Park in Orlando, and I'm in the wheel. And we've got a 23-minute trip here in the wheel here. So I thought I'd take away my best top moments, takeaways, what I took away the best from Podfest. First, I give a big shout out to Chris Cremosis, Katie Cremosis, the whole team at Podfest for putting on another amazing event. I am alone in this pod, I should say. It's actually come to a standstill, which is kind of funny. But it's about a 23-minute round trip, and so I made a list of a couple things that I really took away from Podfest and Vidfest. For those that don't know, Podfest, this was the 5th year we're taking place. It's an amazing event that takes place in Orlando. It's surrounded, with a great Podfest community here, podcasting community in Florida, but it draws people from all across the country and all across the world. At this amazing event. This is my 3rd year in a row of attending. I always take away something valuable that exponentially helps my business grow. And it was the same way this year. They did a different take this year. On the very day before the event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 event. On Thursday and half the day on Friday, they had a new bonus, basically, day and a half called Vidfest, Video Festival, which it's supposed to be its own standalone event next year as well. But we had some great stuff there. It's always great to catch up with my extended podcast family. It helps me. Those guys and gals help me so much. Not only with the Note Closer show and our Note Night in America webinars, but also help me do so much better, do a lot better as I market and get the word out what I'm doing to our Note family, Note Nation across the country. Big thanks to all of our listeners, all our followers as well. Got a big shout out. It was nice to catch up with a lot of people. Sean Yesner, Tom and Tracy Hazard, Kim Seltzer, Kim Sutton, Joe Fear, and Matt Wolf. I was honored to be invited to their mastermind on Friday as well, and a lot of great stuff there, catching up with people as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the camera around here and enjoy the view here so you can see. We might even catch some fireworks from Disney as the lights go down. So we're taking off here, guys. Like I said, it was an amazing event to take place at Podfest, and I'm going to give you a little bit of an idea what we're looking at. Oh, we do have some fireworks in the far distance over there from Disney. Maybe you can see, maybe I can squeeze in. I can't quite see them, but maybe you can see them a little bit over there far. Oh. But we've done the High Roller in Las Vegas, which has been a lot of fun, and then we've also done the London Eye when traveling to London 2 summers ago. So I'm alone in this booth here, and we're gonna try to keep it nice and view for you guys. I thought you guys might enjoy this, and it's a great way to for it. So if you haven't attended Podfest, I highly recommend. If you've got a podcast, you want to be a podcast, some great speakers, some great insights. It is almost a full moon tonight. A little blurry there through the window, but anyway, as we get moving here, I want to go through here with a couple of things. So what was really great, first and foremost, is first day of Podfest. We had Gabe Alusi from Let's Play Through podcast talk about really 10 big keys to your video, what you want to do with your keys to your video, creating your video, to stick with it, to not get so bogged down in the numbers. Don't be envious of numbers because it'll drive you mad trying to compare yourself to somebody brand new. Give me 1 second here. Trying to pull a little bit of the lights up in here so I can see what's going on here. So kind of move over here a little bit. There we go. All right, so he talked about don't be married to an idea. If you've got a video series, a YouTube idea, and it's not going well, don't be married to it. Don't be afraid to change your idea is one of the biggest things that he talked about, because things evolve. You have to evolve differently as things go through, okay? You've got to do some different things. Because you're not seeing the engagement. It may be the greatest idea in the world, but if there's a million other business and entrepreneurial podcasts out there, don't do it. Do something uniquely, okay? Don't be afraid to change that, okay? here's the story. Characters and story trump content. So whatever you're doing, tell a story, okay? Don't be afraid to tell a story, share characters. It's going to be content any day. Don't rattle off numbers. Anybody can rattle off numbers of what they're doing, okay? It's one of the biggest things there is I think the more stories, people remember stories, people remember memorable events, and so that's what you want to keep in mind. It's important to do, all right? Don't be afraid to share some insights and stuff there for you, okay? Plan your content though too before you hit the film button, okay? Plan it. Think about what you're going to talk about. Outline it. Make sure you've got lights on if you've got to read it. Okay. Platforms reward consistency. This is a big thing too. Platforms like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, they're going to reward you showing up on a consistent basis when you're sharing your content or creating content. Showing up just once in a blue moon doesn't give your listeners, your audience, the opportunity to really listen and stick with what you're doing. You know, showing up on a consistent basis every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Thursday is an important thing. And that's another thing. If you can't show up on a regular basis, then bank some videos. That's number 5. Bank some videos. You've got them in the cabinets if you need to pull them out. If you're at an event or you get late, you can always have your extra videos banked so you can get rock and roll, okay? And then the comparison. Here's the thing, okay? Comparison is the boat of joy. We'll take the boat out of it. If you're trying to compare yourself to other people, your numbers to somebody else, you know, don't be comparing yourself to Gary Vee or anybody else. Do you. Be who you are is one of the most important things you do, okay? Exactly. Comparison is the boat of life, okay? Don't stare at your stats. This is number 6. Don't worry about your numbers. Show up consistently. Tell stories. If you're constantly looking at how many downloads you have, how many views, it's going to drive you bonkers. Okay? If you keep looking at your numbers and it keeps increasing by 1 and nobody is looking at that video except you. Something to keep in mind with that, okay? Here's another thing. If you're doing video, sound is 50% of your video. That's the thing to keep in mind, everybody. Sound is just as important as good video. All right? If you got good video but horrible sound, nobody's going to listen to it. Whereas in a podcast, if you have horrible audio and no video, nobody's going to listen to it. All right? But sound is just as important as video, really, when it comes to that, okay? Number 9, success does not come overnight. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy getting better. You're not going to have 1 million listeners the first time around. The first video, the first 100 videos. And that was one thing I had to figure out. Look, I had 50,000 people in my first couple months because I had an audience, but a lot of people don't have that luxury. A lot of people don't have that opportunity to have a network. So grow. Just enjoy the journey, all right? That's the most important thing. It's not going to come overnight. Realize this is a true long game in the marketing space, whether it's a podcast, with audio or video or both. Realize it is a long game, okay? And here's the thing. Don't wait to be perfect to record. Just do it. Don't wait to be perfect to record. Just go ahead and get the stuff recorded, get it out there. You can always edit it later on. Just get some stuff out there. Be consistent. Get some things going. Let people see you improve on the journey. Let people understand, hey, he's brand new or she's brand new, but at least you're getting the content out there. At least you're doing something. If you're doing something, you're doing a whole lot more than most people are in this world today. Okay? One of the most important things is just get it out. Don't wait to be perfect to hit the record button. Okay? And that was really started off. Things gave you a great job with that aspect on day 1 of Vidfest. And then we had some other great stuff also take place throughout the weekend. Just going to read my notes here real fast. Oh, this is a great one. Yeah, Don Frazier said, we tell stories from scars, not wounds. Yes, Don Frazier, who has an amazing thing where she's doing micro events in barbershops and recording things and doing stuff. I had a good chance to sit with her today a little bit. But her big quote was, we do not tell stories. We tell stories from scars, not wounds. Yes, we're all going through things. Yes, we have open wounds. Do not come across and tell the story when you have an open wound. It'll be too emotional, too raw. Tell your story when you've got the scar. Because let's face it, chicks or guys, both dig scars. So scars are us recovering, overcoming our obstacles, and taking things to the next level. All right. Now, great session today. One of the great keynotes to wrap up the event was Leslie Samuel this afternoon. He's a blogger, podcaster, did an amazing job with his blog, and he had 7 key elements, key tools to his success as a blogger, and it really falls in line with us as podcasters, especially you're using things with your podcast to make things open. To get things rock and rolling. Okay. The first note that he talked about was really critical. It was really a great point of things out there, and that is do your research. Do your research on an article, and he provided a great article or a tool called Uber Suggests to see what keywords, what phrases are searchable. And he says that Uber Suggests actually gives you a red or a green light when you're looking at things. If you're typing keywords and you see a lot of red, that means it's overly done. There's too much searches out there. But if it's green, hey, there's not as many people searching for that note. That could be a really great article. We're coming up here about halfway, not quite to the precipice of the wheel here in Orlando. Getting pretty close. And number 2, what Leslie suggests was create an outline. Before you write an article, and I know my English teachers in high school and college appreciate, create an outline what you're going to talk about. What are your 3 points, your 5 points, your 7 points? I know this has been very critical when I've been writing in the different journals that I'm a part of, Podcast Business Journal, or donating articles to other places as well, okay? Number 3, just record the damn episode. That's one of the most important things you can do. Record the episode, write your article, get it written, okay? Record the episode as a podcaster. That takes us to number 4. Write the article or have somebody write it for you. You could use rev.com, temi.com, other resources to write an article if you're not going to do it. All right? But get the article written. It's very important to share that. Okay? Number 5, pull out excerpts. Pull out your top points. Pull the experts of your blog, your podcast. If you're writing a good article, pull out the excerpts of it. That will come in handy for you. It's the high points that you can share in nuggets of different social media posts, so we'll get to that later on in number 7. But pull out experts is number 5. Number 6, all right? Number 6, you're going to love this. Publish your points, okay? Publish your points. And use Yoast SEO optimization. Here we go. Publish your points, but use your Yoast SEO, YOAST, Yoast SEO, to help you identify your points and publish those in different areas out there for you, okay? Number 7 is get the message out. It doesn't do you any good writing a blog if it's not out. And that doesn't mean you can't have it on your website, but go ahead and share it. Find other Facebook groups. Use LinkedIn as a great place for you. If it's a great article, share it with other periodicals, other online magazines, those places, and companies, and they're always looking for content as well out there for you. Okay, but one of the most important things is to get it out there, write it, record it, do a little bit of homework, do your research first, and get rock and rolling. Okay, we had Travis Chappell, who also is a keynote today. He did a great job sharing his four characteristics of well-connected people. And that comes into 1, they position themselves properly. They don't try to do everything. They position themselves as an expert in one field. 2, they show up. They show up. They don't not show up. They're there. They're hanging out. And 3, they add value when they show up. By jumping in, by helping out, by being a resource for people that are attending. They show up. They position themselves. They show up. They add value. And finally, they actually follow up. How many of you have followed up with your database, the people you have talked to or haven't talked to in a while? This was a big point that I took away from that aspect of Travis. So thank you very much, Travis. I appreciate that a great amount there for you. We had Brent, I'm going to pronounce his name, Brent Pavadich, Hollywood producer. He's the guy behind The Biggest Loser, the Housewives of Orange County, and a variety of other TV shows out there. And he has a book called The 3-Minute Pitch, okay? The 3-minute pitch, or he calls it the 3-minute rule of being able to pitch yourself, your ideas, and your story in 3 minutes. Get to the point. And as he likes to say, keep it simple, silly, or stupid, or Scott if you're talking to me, but keep it simple, get to the point, pitch your idea in 3 minutes or less. If it takes 3 minutes or longer, your audience or the people you're pitching to aren't going to understand it, aren't going to know it as well, okay? It's a waste of time at that point, all right? And then, I'm going to butcher this guy, Ronsky Vaz. Ronsky Vaz was our last keynote today. And he actually had a breakout session. Hey, if you want to be the next Gary Vee, screw that, go be yourself. There can only be one of us, one of you out there. And that's important to keep in mind. Great guy. He actually is the guy behind VaynerMedia that handles all of Gary Vee's podcasts and other things he does. He's got a TED Talk coming up as well. And I'll post I'll tag him in the comments on this when we're done. But he talked about, hey, don't be the next Gary Vee. Share your journey, share what you're doing. And be yourself. The world only needs one Gary Vee, but we all need one of you. We need one of each of us, and that's one of the biggest things. So that was the way we wrapped it up, basically for the most part today. There's a lot of great things. Like I said, Kim Sutton did a great job with using Pinterest to help you promote your podcast. We did a live stream, so if you want to look at my videos here on Facebook for that, we live streamed it as well. Yesterday, Kim Sutton did a great job. She's the host of, Kim Sutton is the host of the Positive Productivity Podcast. Shout out to her. She did a great job. Everybody really loved her session. And then, of course, the other Kim that I'm friends with, Kim Seltzer from the Charisma Quotient, really did a great job in her session yesterday that we also live streamed. It would have been on Saturday afternoon. We live streamed it as well. Really talking about how to get the most using your podcast to help get high-end coaching clients. If you're looking at to be a coach, and coaching is a product you're offering, you're selling, she did a great job talking about that, and how you really need to how she works with people to help them with their image, flirting with their clients, and basically help them get the hook in a good way, not in a bad way. But it was a great session as well. A lot of people enjoyed it. She had us do an exercise in there where we were talking with people on identifying really what our value is, and identifying what we're offering up, and what the pain points that we can help solve in our clients' lives, in our clients' business, and how we make ourselves valuable by being able to understand those emotional points, being able to communicate with them, empathize with them, and then really, focus on solving those pain points. And pain points always come down to a variety of things. Time or money are two of the biggest things. If you can solve those things for your ideal clients and niche clients, you're going to do well, and just have to make sure you follow up and really identify your clients and make them do some homework. You can't be a coach to everybody, and sometimes saying no is saying yes to yourselves as well. So once again, everybody, I'm here in the Wheelhouse in Orlando. It is like the London Eye or the Vegas High Roller. We're sitting here about 400 feet up in the air, or we're 400 feet up in the air, as we circle around here at the Icon Park in Orlando. And like I said, I thought I would come up here and do a quick little podcast in a pod talking about my highlights of Podfest 2020 and some of the notes from Vidfest 2020 as well. It took place here in Orlando over the last 4 days for everybody. But it's a nice clear night with a full moon out. Gorgeous views of everybody up here. Once again, big shout out to everybody I got a chance to hang around with this weekend. It was great seeing everybody, catching up with people, our extended podcast family, our friends. They had a great expo area, so it was exciting to meet some new vendors and new people that will be promoting and sharing some of their content and some of their expertise on our Wednesday night webinars, our mass media mastermind webinar calls we do every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard. You You can go to massmediamastermind.com to register for that. Always nice. Always walk out of Podfest excited, and then some other great nuggets that I took away that I'll be implementing directly into my marketing and my business here over the next couple of weeks. We're pretty excited about that, especially some more video, some more podcasting, best practices and tips as well for everybody. Hopefully I haven't made you all too nauseous with this spinning wheel here. It's a little slower thing. I guess they say about 24 minutes from start to finish. I was fortunate enough to get a pod by myself as we come down to the conclusion. If you've got a podcast, I'd love to know what it is. Just drop the name of your podcast in the comments, and we'll make sure and link back to that. Or if you got a link to your website or your podcast, make sure to leave those in the comments as well for us, so that everybody can take advantage of it. If you were at Podfest, great, awesome, thank you so much. If you weren't, hey, you need to be here next year. It is one of the major events that takes place in the podcasting industry. They had well over 1,000 people show up here in Orlando the last couple of days. So I'm gonna flip this around as we get to the rooftops here once again. Everybody had a great time here in Orlando. It's one of the big things we like to do every year. Go to Podfest and Vidfest this year. Once again, to the whole team at Podfest, Multimedia Expo, great job. A way to really knock it out of the park again. It doubled in size from last year, and we look forward to the next one. But once again, big shout out to the whole team, all the speakers, all everybody that showed up, got a chance to hang out with and visit with. Kudos to you all, and I look forward to what the rest of 2020 has to hold for all of us. So once again, everybody, thanks for joining me on this little ride here around the Wheelhouse in Orlando here, as I give you a quick recap of the best of Podfest 2020 and my takeaways. Once again, go out, take some action, have some fun, everybody. If you can't have fun with what you're doing something wrong. And if you do that, take action and show up, add value, and follow up, you're going to be a lot closer to finding your way to the top. See you all later, everybody. Have a great evening. Bye.